Okie dokie. Bloody hell. I have to do this. I do not. This is ridiculous. I do not want to be doing these lives at this time. So I have to say, to everybody who's got the notification, I do apologize, but I have to do this because the last video blew up so much. And I think other people have then done videos piggybacking off my video and the whole thing's blown up. So I need to bring you an update, okay? Because there's been an update to this story. The Sun newspaper have sneaked in a very, very cheeky update. Let me just wait for a few more people to come in. Actually, let me get my fucking phone. Yeah, the Sky. It's all right, guys. The Sun have stuck in a very, very cheeky update, which does change a little bit what's going on here. I think Eddie Hearn's off the hook. So just give me 1 sec, yeah? Grab my phone. Now, sorry about that. Now, I could have let this one slide, innit? I could have let this one slide, but I thought, you know what? Nah, it'd be irresponsible to not do a follow-up to this and report the thing. Exactly, T. Exactly. T's got it nailed on. Exactly. The Sun have changed the wording. I'm convinced. I find it very, very strange, right? That the 2 paragraphs I highlighted are the paragraphs they've changed, but I definitely think Eddie Hearn's off the hook. Let's see what's happened. So on the screen, you can see the original story, yeah? Dillian Whyte offered big money deal to avoid Tyson Fury. That's now changed to this. Let me bring this other thing across. Dillian Whyte has a big money offer to remain one of Eddie Hearn's star attractions if Tyson Fury fight falls through. So they're saying the offer's on the table. But if you go back to the paragraph I was quoting, look at this now, look. It's gone from, and I'll show you, if I can get it up here. Jesus Christ. What's going on? Let me get this up on the screen so you can see what I'm looking at here. And I'll show you the exact wording change. It's gone from this. It's gone from Sunsport understands Whyte's long-term promotional partner, Hearn, has offered him an alternate career route. And that's changed to Sunsport understands Whyte's long-term promotional partner, Hearn, has an attractive backup plan on the table. So what does this mean? It means Eddie Hearn is off the hook. If someone's got in touch with the Sun and they've cleared up the wording. So the deal's there, but it's a backup deal. Does that make sense? They originally reported that the deal was in place basically to get Whyte to avoid Fury. Dillian Whyte offered big money deal to avoid Tyson Fury. That's now changed to the deal is there, but it's a backup plan. Okay? So there you go. I've done that. And the reason I've put that out there is because on the last video, in the comments, there's people that are calling Dillian Whyte a coward and sending him all kinds of stuff. I've seen people sending all kinds of stuff on Twitter. So there you go. There's a very, very slight adjustment. Now, what does this prove? In my opinion, this tells me that this is true. There is a deal on the table for Dillian. And in my opinion, this is the reason why Dillian's being silent. There are 2 deals on the table. One from DAZN, and then there's the Fury fight. So as far as I'm concerned, Dillian has that option. And I believe that's the real reason for his silence. I don't believe it's mind games, but I could be proven wrong tomorrow, okay? So let me give you that update. So as far as I'm concerned, no further questions for Eddie Hearn to answer because that's his job as a promoter. And I'm being 100% honest and fair, aren't I? That's Eddie Hearn's job as a promoter. His job as a promoter, although it's a bit bizarre, isn't it? Because Whyte's supposed to be a free agent. But anyway, his job as a promoter, I guess, is to look at alternatives. So according to the Sun, slight change in the story. The original story is that Dillian Whyte was offered a big money deal to avoid Tyson Fury. That story is now changed to it's a backup deal. All right? It's a backup deal in case the Fury fight falls through. Is that fair? What do you guys think? Do you think I'm Do you think I'm still reporting the news, or do you think I'm still pushing out a narrative? Shout out to all the ultras pushing out a narrative, people. I did not have to come back at 9:20 at night and re-clarify that, but I did it, yeah? I did it to be fair to Dillian and to Eddie, because I've seen online this has caught fire. People are tweeting Eddie, people are tweeting at Dillian and asking them if it's true or not. So there you go. I don't know if someone's been on the phone to the Sun, but they've edited slightly. It's on. It's a backup deal. It's a backup deal. So there you go. That's all we have to say. There's a backup deal. So Dillian Whyte, a free agent, according to the Sun. Oh, by the way, I've heard a few people say this doesn't count because it's from the Sun. That's fine. Apparently, I've heard individuals say that this story is a non-story because it's from the Sun. That's fine. That's for you to decide. Okay. By the way, let me say one other thing that I said in the video. I will take one thing back. I said in the last video, somebody said, I think I said, are the Sun a reliable news source? And I said, yes, yes and no. Do you know what? When I said that, I'm not sure if they are, because we all know about Hillsborough and stuff, and we all know some of their showbiz stuff is terrible. I will say one thing, though. Can I just say one thing, though? When I follow the Sun, right, I follow the Sun when it comes to political news, and a lot of the time they bang on, They've got a guy called Harry Cole. I don't know if you know Harry Cole, one of the #1 political insiders in the UK, belongs to the Sun newspaper, and Harry Cole. Very, very close to Boris Johnson, and very, very close to Carrie Johnson, and very, very, very close to the Tory government. So, like I said before, it's up to you what you choose to believe. I put this video out because people are talking about ultras pushing a narrative. So the story's been updated, all right? And I'll go to comments in a sec. Let me show you one more time. The original story was here. Dillian Whyte offered big money deal to avoid Tyson Fury. Okay? And the original caption here was, Sunsport understands Whyte's longtime promotional partner Hearn has offered him an alternate career route. Here's the updated story. All right. The updated story is Dillian Whyte has a big money offer to remain one of Eddie Hearn's star attraction if Tyson Fury fight falls through. All right. So there's a deal there, but it's only there if. So basically, Matchroom are off the hook. Sunsport understands Whyte's long-term promotional partner Hearn has an attractive backup plan on the table. So there you go. What do you guys think about that? I'm leaving it to you guys. What do you guys think about that? There's an attractive backup plan on the table. Eddie Hearn's been sent this story on social media. I would imagine he's aware of it because I think a few people have tweeted him. It's also interesting that the Sun have made a correction to the story. They haven't denied, right? Have you noticed they haven't retracted that there's an offer on the table from DAZN and Eddie Hearn for Dillian Whyte that doesn't involve fighting Tyson Fury? What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? It's interesting, isn't it? What do you guys think? There's lots of commentary on this at the minute, isn't there? There's people saying you can't trust this story because it's from the Sun, so it must be bullshit. I have to be honest with you, honestly, and I could be completely wrong, right? But if this story was bullshit and there was no backup plan from DAZN for Dillian Whyte, if there was no backup plan, I would imagine this story would have been removed. That's just my opinion. I would imagine by now it would have been removed. It hasn't been removed. They've just said the deal's there. It's not for Whyte to avoid Fury. It's there in case Whyte decides not to fight Fury. So that's my opinion. I'll tell you one thing, and I'll quickly repeat myself. I think what this does show is that Dillian Whyte being silent isn't mind games. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. That's what I think it shows. That Dillian Whyte's silence isn't mind games. And that there are options on the table. And that's why he's silent. And he's going to have to pick, and he's going to have to choose what the best option is for him. He can either fight Tyson Fury, and take the money that's been offered by Bob and Frank. If he doesn't take that, according to this, he won't be short of he won't be losing massive, massive money in the long term, because there's a nice big money deal there waiting for him if this grudge match with Tyson Fury falls through. I tell you, it's so convenient that the only two... Can I be honest with you? It's so convenient that the only bits of this article that have changed are the bits of the article that are the bits of the article that basically incriminate Matchroom for interfering. It's bizarre, isn't it? But look, I'm not going to play conspiracy theories. We're going with it, okay? That's interesting, isn't it? The only bits of the story that changed were the bits that intimated that Matchroom were telling Whyte, don't take it. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Marco says the article says he'll get 6 million for Chisora 3. Utter nonsense. No, he won't. But I don't care about that part at all. Listen, I'm not interested in that. This is just opinion. This is just opinion, right? What I focused on is what's not opinion, right? What's not opinion is this. The Sun Sport understands that Whyte's longtime promotional partner, Hearn, has an attractive backup plan on the table. That's not an opinion, right? All the other stuff about what fights he may take, he might fight Chisora for 6 billion, that's opinion. That's the opinion of the person who wrote the article. This part here in blue, that's not opinion. They're stating that, as far as they understand, there's a backup deal. So there you go. I'm going to read your comments now. I'm happy with that, right? But I wanted to put that out there because, like I said before, we had 700 people in the last chat. 700 people we had. And I've been accused of all sorts, apparently. And you all heard the guys in the last show. What did they say? This is a plant from Team Whyte to try and get more money. I'll be honest with you. I know my opinion on this. We'll have to wait and see. We will find out tomorrow what is going on. I'll go through some of your comments. But anyway, I hope people understand that now. I hope people can stop accusing me of pushing a narrative. There you go. As far as I'm concerned, this means Matchroom are off the hook because this is just Eddie Hearn doing his job. All right? This is just Eddie Hearn doing his job. So we'll have to wait and see until tomorrow. All right? So as long as it's not Eddie Hearn has told Dillian Whyte, don't take the Fury deal. I've got a better deal for you. Right? As long as Eddie Hearn hasn't said that to Dillian Whyte, then that's okay. It's his job as a promoter. Let's have a look. You guys are backing me up on this, aren't you? Your guys... TMT is saying, lol, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but it pretty much gets Matchroom off the hook. Does that make sense? The wording that's changed is the wording that insinuates that he's being offered the deal to try and make him stop fighting Fury. That's the only part that's changed. The deal's there. That's it. As far as they're concerned, the deal's on the table. He can sign with DAZN. The deal's on the table. Simple as that. The deal is on the table for Dillian. If he wants to sign with DAZN, he can sign with DAZN and get fights. Those are his options. Which is interesting. Which is very, very interesting, isn't it? Because like I said before on the last show, what I heard was that there were no options. You know, you heard from people like like Eddie Hearn saying, happy not to be involved and, you know, he's going to take it and he's got to take it and there's this and there's that. And I just found it funny that 24 hours before the deal, we suddenly find out that, well, if he doesn't take it, he's got X amount of money offer from Eddie Hearn. Like I said before, I'm going to read all your comments. Get your comments. I'm just going to read them out and then we'll go. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to read the news. Like I said before. What do you guys think? Let's have a look. Let's go through the comments. T says, is it true that Whyte has until tomorrow to sign the contract? He does. End of play tomorrow. Marco says, can't say I'm surprised. AJ Whyte will happen September, October. Winner will fight Usyk. They're going to freeze Fury out. Deal with Usyk will be in place 100%. I have no idea. At the minute, I have no idea what will happen tomorrow. You know? I have no idea. I have no idea. Do you know what's interesting? Everybody that I speak to who's worked in boxing behind the scenes thinks there's no way Dillian Whyte will turn this down. Do you know that? There's not one person that I've spoken to who's worked in boxing who thinks Dillian Whyte will turn this down. For what it's worth, they all think there is no way he can turn this down. No way. Somebody said to me, what did they say? Somebody said to me, Ultra, Dillian will be known as a ducker forever. I think people forget about it in a week. I disagree with that. That's my opinion. I think people will forget about it in a week. About 2 weeks ago, people were convinced Boris Johnson was going to resign. 1 week later, that's all forgotten about. We live in a very, very different age. Very, very different age. 1 second, guys. Let me just get this out on Twitter so more people know. Hold on. I forgot to put it out on Twitter. Live with an update on Dillian Whyte alternative deal offered by Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn hasn't come out. Let me check Eddie Hearn's Twitter. Has he come out and said this is bullshit? I know for a fact Eddie Hearn's been copied in, right? I haven't heard Eddie Hearn say this story is garbage. So I'm imagining right now there might be some truth in this, and that there is it, which is fine. Eddie's not doing anything wrong. It's Eddie's job, isn't it? It's Eddie's job as a promoter. Dillian Whyte is still, well, he's a free agent, but Dillian's still involved with him, isn't he? So it's Eddie's job. Let me ask you, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about Eddie Hearn's backup plan for Dillian? Let me just ask you what you think about it. I have to be honest with you. I don't think it's a big deal. I think, look, Eddie's doing his job, but a few people in the comment section are saying otherwise. But it's a backup. That's what's changed from the Sun. The Sun is saying it's not a deal offered by Eddie to avoid Fury, like this bit said. It's now changed to it's a backup deal, just in case. Let's see what you think. Ultra, are you going live for deadline day? I'll go live if Dillian signs or not, and that will be the last video that I do for a while. Absolutely. That's why I'm doing all these videos now, because this is, look, we've had Brook and Khan, and we've had all this kind of stuff. So I need a break away from YouTube. You know, I've got to. So enjoy these episodes while you can. 10 p.m. Monday. It's 10 p.m. I thought it was end of business, Richard. So 5-6. Mind you, it could be WB. Oh my God. I don't know if I can do it till 10 p.m. Oh my God. Kangaroo Jack says White playing mind games. His biggest payday will surely. Well, I don't know what his mind. What's the mind? Kangaroo Jack. What's the mind game? What has he got to do by playing mind games? What mind games? I don't understand. What are the mind games? What are the mind games? I'm definitely sure he's not playing mind games. What are the mind games he's playing? I think he's weighing up which offer to take. Simple as that. I don't think he's playing mind games at all. I think he's weighing up which deal to take. It's very simple. Do I take X amount of money from Bob and Frank, or if the Sun newspaper's correct and Eddie Hearn's got him a backup deal, do I take the backup deal from DAZN? Simple as that. Which one do I take? That's it. And that's why I did the video. People are saying, oh, Ultra, it's all mind games. I don't think it's mind games at all. I think he needs to decide which deal is the best for him. Yeah? Simple as that. I will notice, I'm not going to make comment, actually. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to stay good. I'm not going to make comment on that. I was going to make comment on the lack of other places on YouTube that want to talk about this right now, but I won't say anything. I don't know if you've noticed. Let's put it this way. Can I ask you guys a genuine question, and I'll go through all your comments? This show is your comments. I've talked, Shevan's talked, Andre's talked, we've all talked. This show, I will read out your comments. Can I ask you a question? Genuine question. Because I'm supposed to be the shill, right? Isn't it? Because I'm supposed to be the shill who's pushing a false narrative. Can I ask you a genuine question? How many other UK channels at the minute are reporting this news or even talking about it? How many are even talking about it? Genuinely, are actually even talking about this? Now, let me ask you this genuine question. Genuine question. If this was the other way around, right, And the Sun newspaper had reported that Frank Warren had backup deals ready for Tyson Fury in case he pulled out of the Dillian Whyte fight. Do you honestly think that we'd be seeing a little bit more coverage? Genuinely, I'm just asking. What do you think? Do you think I'm right about that, or do you think I've got a point? Do you think if the Sun newspaper had released an article saying that Tyson Fury has a backup deal on offer from Frank Warren in case he doesn't sign for the fight with Dillian Whyte, do you think you'd see a few more videos about it? Yes or no? What do you? I think you would. I think you would, innit? We've seen. Think about the kind of crap that we've seen people make videos for. It is what it is. Carl Williams says, Peter McDonough says it's rubbish, says Whyte will fight. Well, it's probably fine. That's it. If Peter McDonough says it, it must be true. I have no idea what Dillian Whyte's going to do. This is what I don't understand. Why do people... Look, Dillian Whyte... I don't know what you guys want me to say. I don't know. Will he sign? Will he not? I don't know. I have no idea. What do you want me to say? What I don't like, what I don't get is people who have no idea pretending that they do have an idea. Unless they've got inside information. Does that make sense? But I don't think anybody knows. Is that a fair comment, guys? What do you think? Do you think I'm being unfair by saying I don't think anybody knows for sure if Whyte will sign tomorrow or not? What do you think? Do you think that's a fair comment, or do I need to pretend that, yeah, Whyte will definitely sign? No, he won't sign. Well, we don't know, do we? So I don't think anybody knows, really, to be honest. Is that fair? Yeah, you guys are saying that's fair. That's fair, isn't it? I mean, you guys are telling me that Peter McDonough says Whyte will sign. Okay. How does Peter McDonough know? I don't know. I have no idea. It is what it is. We'll see. We'll see. I definitely believe DAZN have got a backup deal for... I definitely believe DAZN have got a backup deal for Whyte. It would make no sense for them not to. Just use your logical brain. Why on earth would Eddie Hearn and Matchroom not have a bunch of deals ready for Whyte if he chooses not to take the fight? Would that make any sense? Doesn't make any sense, does it? That makes no sense, right? So we'll see in it. Of course they have. So that's why I say I don't think it's a big deal. I think, like I said, Eddie Hearn's off the hook. Absolutely. He's just doing his job as a promoter, and I have to be honest and tell it how it is. The Sun have changed the wording to the point where, look, you can't put anything on Matchroom on that. I'm sorry. Matchroom are just doing their job. Hold on, let's have a look. Blah 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 blah. I'm just going through your comments. Sorry, guys. This is your show. Tell me what you think. Right. So close of business tomorrow. So it's 10 p.m. UK time. Oh, listen. I just hope he. Why has he got to go to that? I don't understand. But do you know what? Honestly, I know I'm not going to say anything. The mind game stuff makes no sense to me. Why you'd leave it 10 p.m. for a mind game? I don't know. I'm expecting tomorrow last minute demands to get made by Dillian Whyte. That's what I'm expecting tomorrow. I'm expecting Dillian Whyte to say, look, take it or leave it. This is what's happening. Let's have a look. M.A. Khan says, promoter-wise, it's always good to have a backup plan. That's it. I mean, look, like I said before, as the Sun have changed the word, and you can't nail Eddie Hearn on that. Simple as that. If all Matchroom is doing is just getting a backup deal ready in case he doesn't take it. Of course, what's my opinion? Of course, my opinion is that Eddie's told him not to take it. Look at Dave Allen. Look at it. You know, I'm just being honest. This is not fact. This is my opinion, right? Right? But it's a fact. Dave Allen said that Frank Warren offered him 200K. What was Dave Allen offered? Dave Allen was offered 200 to 300K by Eddie Hearn, by Frank Warren to fight Daniel Dubois. And Eddie Hearn told him, don't take it. I'll match that in your next fight. So it wouldn't be the first time that Eddie Hearn has told somebody not to take a deal with a Frank Warren fighter. He did that over Dave Allen. And by the way, that's Dave Allen's own words. Dave Allen's own words. That's not my words. That's Dave Allen himself went on camera and said that. So we'll see. It wouldn't be the first time, but I can't prove anything. All I can do is go on what's on the article. And the article completely absolves Matchroom of any blame. Period. This is just Eddie Hearn doing his job. Boxing Madness says, who told the Sun to change the wording and why? I have no idea. All I know is, as it stands, Matchroom are off the hook. It's only a backup deal in case Whyte doesn't sign. Let's have a look. Kangaroo Jack says Tyson Fury doesn't have to fight Whyte if he decides to make a final demand to the Fury camp. I won't be surprised if Fury fights are voluntary. Brian Sirius says Usyk versus AJ is definitely not happening next. I suspect there's still no trainer from Anthony Joshua. Do you find that guy's funny yet? Honest question: if Anthony Joshua is so ready to fight Alexander Usyk and he's chomping at the bit, where's his new trainer? Isn't it? Like, where's AJ's new trainer? Where is AJ? Last time I saw Anthony Joshua, he was on Snapchat rolling up a fucking tortilla like what was it? What was he doing? I'll get it up on the screen. What was AJ doing on Snapchat? Anthony Joshua. He was building up, wasn't he? He was building up a rap, wasn't he? Oh my gosh, what was this guy doing? I get it up. Crazy talk. This guy was building up, wasn't he? So I'm trying to figure it out. Like, if Anthony Joshua's fighting Usyk very soon, where's his trainer? Who is he training with? Who is he training with? Yeah, someone made another great point from Samuel Harrison. Also, no UK broadcast deal for AJ. It's interesting, isn't it? Because what else happened? Apparently, Adam Smith said he thinks that AJ will stay with Sky. Did you guys hear that the other day? I heard something that apparently Adam Smith thinks that Anthony Joshua was likely to stay with Sky or something. It was him or Ben Shalom. They seem very confident that Anthony Joshua will be staying as a Sky box office fighter. Very, very confident. Very confident. Marco says it's coming on 7 months since AJ versus Usyk won. See, this is what I'm saying. I still think, and I maybe I'm smoking crack. I still believe that all this is in because okay. So I'm not lying about that. Johnson Matthew says yes. Adam Smith said it. Yeah, it was Smith. Okay, so there you go. So Sky seem very, very confident that Anthony Joshua won't be fighting on DAZN and that he'll be fighting on Sky Sports box office. So I don't know. I really do believe that some of this is all interlinked, and I've believed that from the get-go. Listen, if you tell me if Anthony Joshua versus Usyk got announced tomorrow, different story. But I think the fact that fight hasn't been announced yet, and where is AJ's trainer? Where is AJ's trainer? All this stuff's going on. There's something going on. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on. Yeah, Marco's backing it up as well. Let me just go through some more of your comments. Right, Itty Bitty Bad Boy says he has a trainer, but they're not revealing it. Setting up excuse to duck Usyk, right? That's your opinion, okay? I understand that. Dave Milne says he AWOL now too. Can I be honest with you in the chat? Because this is just, I'm just going to chat to you and then that's it. That's it. This is us just chatting and that's it, yeah? We're chatting and then tomorrow we find out. And let me just say, I hope Dillian Whyte signs for this fight. And then we can get this fight on Wembley Stadium on April the 23rd. And if Dillian Whyte wins and I still have this channel, as long as it's like not, something incredibly crooked, like he brings a shotgun into the ring and shoots Fury, right? If Dillian Whyte wins, I will give Dillian Whyte credit. Simple as that. In boxing, they're winners and losers. Sometimes our favorite fighters must win and sometimes our favorite fighters must lose. That's not a problem. 173 in the chat. If you would like to hit the like button, you don't have to on this occasion. Look, I'll even give you a night off the like button. How's that? I'll even give you a night off clicking the like button if you don't want to. I'm really appreciated. We had in the last one, we had 709. We topped out 709. Let me just say this one more time about this channel so people understand, yeah? We had 709 max out in the chat. 709. A 1,000 subscriber channel had 700 people in the chat. Now you know why I don't super chat. Do you understand now why I don't super chat? Do you understand why I don't do Patreon? I don't need to do any of that shit. Do you understand? We had 709. Trust me when I say this. Don't worry about me, man. Don't worry about me, man. That's all I can tell you is like, don't worry about me, man. Can you imagine what would happen if we had 30,000 subscribers? Can you imagine the kind of numbers we're doing? If we were able to hit, 709 on a channel that has 1,000 subs. Can you imagine what the numbers would be if we have 30,000 subs? Jesus fucking, can you imagine? I say no more. Let me have a look here. Jack Pond says, how can AJ be contracted to Matchroom for 10 years and not have to fight on DAZN? I'd imagine because it's just a promotional deal in terms of Matchroom have to promote the fights. I don't think that's a broadcast deal. I'm just guessing. I don't know anything about boxing business. All right. But I think it's just about the promotional deal. Matchroom will handle the promotional side of his fights. Who knows? Who knows? Let me just see. What else is going on here? Michael Buford says, AJ's trainer might be Angel Fernandez. I don't think so because I know somebody who knows Angel Fernandez. I know somebody who's on very good terms with Angel Fernandez. And if Angel Fernandez was going to become the head trainer for Anthony Joshua, I would be getting DMs about that. That I can tell you right now. I'd be getting DMs about that because I know somebody who's on quite good terms with him. So I can assure you that that's probably not the case. It's well, Samuel Harrison, Ade says Rob hasn't left Boxing Social. That's absolutely brilliant. He's no longer the director. If you look on Company's House, it says that Rob Tebert is no longer the director of Boxing Social and that his position as director has been terminated. He's also not responding to any DMs. So a lot of us assume that he was no longer affiliated. But if he is, that's fantastic. I like Rob. I've had a few chats with him personally. He's a good guy and I've got time for him. And I just hope he's okay. I don't care if he's left Boxing Social or not. I just hope he's okay because he hasn't said a word on social media for the last 2 to 3 months. So as long as he's okay and he's not done anything silly, that's all we care about because the guy was very, very chatty and all of a sudden he's literally disappeared off the face of the earth. All right? So that's all I'm saying. Richard from Twitter says, AJ was taking Angel Fernandez around with him to trial new trainers. He will be in camp, but he won't be head trainer. Yeah, Angel definitely is definitely still part of that team. Imran says, White baffles me. He said he'd knock Fury out. Fury is a... I'm going to save that until tomorrow. I've got some old tweets of Dillian Whyte that I want to show you guys, but we'll see tomorrow. Like I said, just sign for the fight and we don't have to go down that road. But if it doesn't get signed, I've got some old tweets from Dillian Whyte that I'm going to show you. Things that I've said that have been said in the past. But like I said before, we'll only do that if the fight isn't signed. If anybody wants to chat away, now's a chance. We're just having a chat. For those of you who are just joining, Matchroom are off the hook. The Sun newspaper have changed 1 or 2 words. Look, the story that we reported earlier on today from the Sun has gone from Dillian Whyte offered big money deal to avoid Tyson Fury and remain one of Eddie Hearn's star attractions. That's changed to, get up on the screen so you can see it. Dillian Whyte has a big money offer to remain one of Eddie Hearn's star attractions if Tyson Fury fight falls through. So that's what they've said. So it's a backup deal. That's what they're now saying. It's not Eddie saying, look, don't take the fight with Fury. You've got this instead. It's Eddie saying, if you don't take the fight with Fury, you've got this deal instead. How much of a difference that makes to you, I'm not sure. But I have to, in the essence of being fair, I have to report that. I have to. You know, I didn't really want to be live, but we can't avoid that stuff. We can't. There's no way we can avoid doing that. Let's have a look. Crazy D3 says about Rob T, but maybe he's taking a break from social media. Absolutely, that's fine. Absolutely fine. I hope as long as he's okay, that's the main thing. I've got no problem with Rob T, but I think Rob T, but it's probably it changed the game in terms of interviews, the interviewing standard of British journalists. I think Rob Tebert was the one who took it to a new level. Yeah, look, as I said before, look, I'll show you the Kugan Cassius era. Let me show you the Kugan Cassius era, look. So we went from the Kugan Cassius era. That's the Kugan Cassius era of journalism right there. So this is when Kugan Cassius was ruling the roost with IFL TV and had unlimited, unfettered access to everybody in boxing. That there was the Kugan Cassius era. Rob Tebert came along and started asking real questions. So I hope Rob Tebert's okay. Taz says, Big Faze and Ben Whitaker both involved with 258 last night. AJ Stone with Sky Shawley. Well, this is what I'm saying. Just think about this, right? Let me ask you this. AJ fights Usyk and stays on Sky Box Office. Dillian Whyte signs tomorrow. and ends up on BT Sport. What would you want to be DAZN if you was in that situation? Would you want to be on Eddie Hearn in that situation? With two of your biggest fucking names fighting on rival channels? Am I right or am I wrong about that? Am I spinning the narrative there or am I lying again? What am I doing here? Look. If Dillian Whyte signs an agreement to fight Tyson Fury, he goes to BT Sport, right? And if Anthony Joshua decides to stay with Sky, then Matchroom's two of Matchroom's biggest stars aren't fighting on Matchroom's own platform in DAZN. I don't think people understand that, you know. I don't think people quite understand that, how big that is for Matchroom and DAZN at the state they're in. If you look at the state DAZN are in right now in the UK, two of their biggest stars will be fighting on rival promoters' platforms. Can you imagine if Anthony Joshua was to fight on Sky? What would be there to stop Ben Shalom turning up to the press conferences? Do you remember when Tyson Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko and Eddie Hearn was running the press conference? Why was Eddie Hearn at the press conference? Because Eddie Hearn held the exclusive contract with Sky. Am I lying or am I not lying? Eddie Hearn was never the promoter for Fury and Klitschko, right? He was never the promoter, right? But he was there at the press conferences. Why? Because he held the exclusive agreement to promote boxing on Sky Sports. So what's to stop if Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk fight, right, on Sky Box Office? What is there to stop Ben Shalom turning up at the press conference the same way Eddie Hearn did? Can somebody tell me? I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but what do you guys think about that? I'm trying to find the pictures of Eddie Hearn at the press conference with Fury. Do you remember? Eddie Hearn wasn't involved in the promotion, right? But he was there at the press conference, wasn't he? Right? Do you remember? He was there at the press conference between Fury and Klitschko. Right? Yeah, I'm right, aren't I? Exactly. So let me ask you, if Anthony Joshua stays with Sky, what's to stop Ben Shalom turning up to a press conference and piggybacking with him? What's to stop Ben Shalom being at the table the same way Eddie Hearn was? If you were Ben Shalom, would you want to do that? If I was Ben Shalom, I would 100% do that. Are you mad? Anthony Joshua's next fight against Usyk stays on Sky Sports box office. If you're Ben Shalom, would you stay away from that or would you turn up? I'm turning up. I'm going to be on the top table. Am I right or am I not right? Yes or no? Am I right or am I not right? If you're Ben Shalom, would you turn up? I'm turning up. The same way Eddie Hearn did, right? The same things Eddie Hearn did to everybody else. Ah, you see? How's that going to look? That's not good if you're DAZN. Do you understand? That's a big L for DAZN. If two of your biggest stars are having two of their biggest fights on a platform that isn't even yours. Well, exactly. Adam Smith will definitely be at the table. Won't he? So what's Eddie Hearn going to do if AJ decides to sign with Sky? Eddie Hearn can be there, yeah? I'm not saying Eddie Hearn can't be there. Eddie Hearn can be there. But Sky are running it. It's on Sky's broadcast. There's nothing to say that Ben Shalom or Adam Smith or any of these guys can't turn up. It's a bad look, isn't it? It's a bad look. And that's the reason that I'm trying to say all these people who are saying, oh, this is all about Dillian Whyte's mind games. I don't think it's about Dillian Whyte's mind games at all. I think there's all sorts going on behind the scenes. That's my opinion. I think there's all sorts going on behind the scenes because it's squeaky bum time, isn't it? That's all I'm saying. There's all sorts going on behind the scenes. Imran says this explains why DAZN are pushing for the Canelo deal. Of course they need fights fast. And Games You Love has brought up a great point. Look, Bellew will be tweeting about loyalty again soon. Have you seen? Listen, you guys may think I'm crazy. I'll show you something. You tell me if this is coincidence or not. All right? And again, I want to make this clear. I am not saying Dillian Whyte will not sign tomorrow. Listen to me. I'm saying that the reason that he's not talking I don't think it's mind games. That's all I'm saying. Listen to this. It's Tony Bellew on Twitter. Oh, Jesus. I can't find it because this knit is absolute fucking garbage. Let me just find it. Tony Bellew on Twitter talking about loyalty. I wonder who he was talking about here. I could be completely wrong. Oh, Jesus. Let me have to go to my Twitter page. I'll get this tweet up in a sec. And you tell me who you thought Tony Bellew was talking about here. Hold on. Let me get this up. Bear with me. I'll go through some comments. Indigo Mentality says, much respect to Ultratech. I am honest enough to say I did think it was mind games. Or it could. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not right. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not right. I'm not always right. All I do is give my opinion. Now, I didn't have to come back tonight and update you on that Sun newspaper story. I could have left it, and everybody was in the comments slagging off Dillian Whyte, and I could have left it at that. But look, I've done otherwise. Now, let me get this up. Hold on. Where's Bellew? Where's Bellew talking about loyalty? Tony Bellew's telling people that Tony Bellew says that if you stay with a promoter, if your promoter pays you well, you shouldn't leave your promoter. You should show loyalty. That was Tony Bellew literally a couple of days ago. And for some reason, I can't find the damn thing because Twitter's a fucking piece of garbage. But these guys saw it. Tony Bellew tweeting out that fighters, as long as you're being paid well by your promoter, and he's giving you big fights, you should stay loyal to your promoter. Here we go. I found it. Look, here we go. Am I lying now, or is this narrative? This is Tony Bellew on February the 16th. This is Tony Bellew 4 days ago. Who do you think Tony Bellew's talking about here? Here you go. A man who continuously delivers and makes sure you are paid extremely well should be shown loyalty, in my opinion. But hey, not everyone thinks like I do, I suppose. I'm all for fighters going their own way when they aren't being paid or are being robbed. But if you're not, then be loyal. February the 16th, Tony Bellew. This is just my opinion. I'm just floating ideas out there. What do you think about that tweet from Tony Bellew? Do you think that tweet was coincidence? Or do you think Tony Bellew might be referring to a certain situation? I'm all for fighters going their own way when they aren't being paid or are being robbed. But if you're not, then be loyal. I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? Oh, he's talking about Brook and Khan and Kellen Brook. Brook and Khan. There you go. So there's your answer. So maybe that's debunked me live on air. He was actually talking about Brook and Khan. I did forget that bit. I tell you what, to me, it felt like he was making a point about somebody else we've been talking about as well. But yeah, it was what it was. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe he was taking shots at Brook. That's fine. I also read that as possibly towards someone else as well. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Let's have a look. Alistair Ninian says, it never ceases to amaze me how fighters will go tooth and nail for loyalty. As soon as these fighters get stale, loyalty isn't going to pay bills. SB Gaz says, anyone think Hearn might know the writing is on the wall and is just siphoning money from DAZN? You're going to get me in trouble now. So I can't really say anything. Listen, DAZN are now debt-free because Mr. Russian billionaire has just given them another 4 billion. So DAZN are no longer in debt. All right? Simple as that. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, can they pick up rights in 2025? That's it. That's all they got to do. They can pick up the BT Sports Champions League rights and all be okay. It is what it is. Let's have a look here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is the reason why it's been silent? Just out of interest. I don't think I've heard your views on it. What's on Dillian's mind? We'll go for a little bit longer. What's on Dillian's? I can't believe we've still got 200 people here, you know, to be honest, because this was only supposed to be a little update video. I can't believe we've still got 200 people here, to be honest. I'm actually quite grateful for it. I will say this again. If you don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. No one gives a shit. I need to take a break away. So after tomorrow, no, this is it. We're coming towards the finale now, the season finale. I can't keep doing these fucking live shows. My voice is gone, and pretty soon my bollocks will go. Well, what do you think's on Dillian's mind? If you think it's mind games, that's fine. What do you think's on Dillian's mind? He hasn't signed yet. He's got until tomorrow night. What do you think's going through his mind? What do you think? Joe says, desperately trying to get every last pound out of his big payday. Could be right. Norzerb thinks he's got options on the table. Reno Mane says Eddie will offer Dillian the Usyk fight next and the winner will fight AJ. Eddie will tell him you will make more money with both fights. That also gives AJ time to have a tune-up. I don't think that's how it's going to end up, but and the only reason I say that is because I'm not sure if Usyk would agree to that, but let's see. Nick Mandelberg says, I think it's a done deal. What do you think is a done deal, Nick Mandelberg? You think Whyte and Fury is a done deal? Just to clarify your point. Dave Milne says, I do have my opinion. I posted earlier on the other videos that he's trying to hurt the pockets. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name because I will do it very, very badly. Yo, Ultra. As a big Whyte fan, I'll be shocked if he doesn't sign. Yep, okay. Listen, I won't say I'll be shocked, but it is what it is. Nick Mandelson says he thinks Whyte and Fury's done. I don't think it's a done deal. I think it can be a done deal tomorrow, but I don't think it's quite a done deal. I don't think it's quite a done deal. To be honest, I think if it was a done deal, it would have been signed. That's my opinion. Riku's here. Riku says, hoping that Eddie offers him 4-5 million to fight Chisora, just to have something on the DAZN schedule. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me tell you this now. Let me say this one more time and I'll keep reading your comments. Remember, if Dillian Whyte signs to fight Tyson Fury and goes to BT Sport, and Anthony Joshua decides to continue to fight on Sky Sports box office, all I'll be saying is this. There won't be many big British fights on DAZN anytime soon. Am I right about that? Let's be honest. No Dillian Whyte, no Anthony Joshua. You're basically down to Conor Benn fights, aren't you? That's in terms of if you're a British subscriber, right? You're a British subscriber looking for big British fights. What are you subscribing to DAZN for? You're subscribing for Conor Benn fights, aren't you? Aren't you? You're subscribing for Conor Benn fights, aren't you? What is if Dillian Whyte signs and fights Fury on BT Sport and Anthony Joshua decides to stay on Sky as a British subscriber, right? Looking to watch big British fights, what would be your reason to keep paying DAZN money? And let me ask you another question. DAZN need to start doing pay-per-view, right? We've all agreed that DAZN are going to start doing pay-per-view, right? We've agreed on that, yeah? DAZN are launching pay-per-view. We all know that if the Canelo signs for them 2 fights, yeah, that Canelo will be pay-per-view on DAZN. So we know DAZN pay-per-view is a thing, yeah? So all this stuff about DAZN being in the pay-per-view was pure lies. Am I spinning a narrative there, or am I telling the truth, yes or no? That DAZN saying that they would be the end of pay-per-view was pure lies. Am I spinning a narrative there, or is that true? Okay. So let's think about this. DAZN need to run pay-per-view, right? DAZN are bringing in pay-per-view. In order to bring in pay-per-view, you need people who will draw on pay-per-view. Now, we know in the US, they've got that in Canelo. Canelo's a huge draw, right? I'm talking about in the UK. In the UK, where DAZN are in the process, I believe, I don't know, Riku knows how it works, but I believe they've sorted it out with Ofcom where they're going to have their channel number. So from what I've heard, is that DAZN are in the process of doing fights on pay-per-view. In fact, if Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury had happened on DAZN, I'm pretty sure that would have been pay-per-view. I think we can all agree on that, yeah? So here's the question. Dillian Whyte goes to BT Sport. Anthony Joshua ends up on Sky Sports box office. If that was there to happen, who would DAZN launch on pay-per-view in the UK? Tell me. Who could DAZN launch on pay-per-view in the UK without Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua? Who would be headlining DAZN UK pay-per-views? Who would it be? Oh, Nick Mandelberg says it's true. That's definitely true. Adam Smith said DAZN have applied for a pay-per-view channel. Thank you very much. So I'm not lying and spinning a narrative. Right. So now you tell me, no Dillian Whyte, no Anthony Joshua. Who are DAZN bringing on pay-per-view? You've heard it there from Nick. Adam Smith has said DAZN have applied for a pay-per-view channel. So who's going to be on DAZN pay-per-view in the UK if there's no Dillian Whyte and no Anthony Joshua? Right. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't believe. That's why I believe this silence isn't just about mind games now. That's all I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's why I believe that this silence isn't about mind games. Babbage. Jesus Christ. It's only the cost of a curry. Exactly, Samuel Harrison. Eddie said the only mega fights would be on pay-per-view. No one mentioned in their stable is mega fight status. Here's another question. Can I ask you another question? Anthony Joshua will always be a pay-per-view fighter, yeah? We can agree on that. Can I ask you a question? What happens if Anthony Joshua fights on Sky Sports box office and gets knocked out by Alexander Usyk? What happens then? You thought about that? What happens if Anthony Joshua ends up on Sky Sports box office but gets knocked out by Alexander Usyk? What does that mean? It means it'll be Anthony Joshua's third loss. It means it'll be his second loss in a row. And it also means that his next fight will be for no titles. If you were DAZN and you were looking to launch pay-per-view in the UK, would you be shitting your pants at the prospect of Anthony Joshua ending up on Sky box office and getting sparked out or getting beat? Can I ask you guys, am I spinning a narrative here or am I making sense? Let me know in the chat. I'm just trying to track what I'm saying here. Because apparently I'm a shill. So can you tell me in the chat yes or no? Am I spinning a narrative here or do you think I'm asking questions that are relevant questions? What happens if Anthony Joshua ends up on a non-DAZN platform and gets knocked out by Alexander Usyk? Like he nearly got knocked out in round 12 of their last fight. What happens if he gets knocked out? He's gonna go pay-per-view on DAZN, yeah? He'll be pay-per-view on DAZN if he wants to be, right? Let's say DAZN get him on pay-per-view. He'll go to pay-per-view on DAZN for what? For no titles in a comeback fight, yeah? In a comeback fight, yeah? What would you do? If you were DAZN, what would you rather do? If you were DAZN? If you were DAZN and you were looking to launch pay-per-view in the UK, or if you were Eddie Hearn and you were looking to launch DAZN boxing on pay-per-view in the UK, how keen would you be on Dillian Whyte fighting Tyson Fury on BT Sport as an overwhelming underdog, and Anthony Joshua fighting against Alexander Usyk with no rematch clause in a fight he's already been beaten by on a rival platform? And they both get beaten in the best, and they both get beaten in the best part of a month or two. What happens then to Eddie Hearn? Even if he gets those two guys, he's got two guys who have just been beaten. He's got one guy who's been beaten twice in a row, and he's got another guy that's just been beaten. Anthony Joshua will always be a pay-per-view draw, no matter what, right? I'm not disputing that. But when is Anthony Joshua more valuable? Is he more valuable now that he's rematching Usyk for 3 titles? Or is he going to be more valuable by the time Usyk takes him out? Does that make sense what I'm saying? It's funny. Has anybody ever asked Eddie Hearn about that? I've never heard IFL TV ask Eddie Hearn that. Has anybody ever heard Eddie Hearn ask that? Has anybody ever heard Eddie Hearn ask that question before? Say, Eddie, quick question. Do you know that your two biggest stars or two of your biggest pay-per-view stars could end up fighting on rival platforms and they could both end up getting beat? Both of them would be underdogs going into the fight, Eddie. What happens if they both lose? When you understand that, then I think you begin to understand the reason why there's been silence. That's my opinion. Now, of course, the reverse could be true. What if Dillian Whyte knocks out Tyson Fury then he could take the belts over to DAZN, right? And then DAZN have the #1 heavyweight in the world. So again, there is that. That could happen too. No question. There's no rematch clause, as far as I've heard. There's no rematch clause. There's no option for Dillian Whyte. So Dillian Whyte can knock out Fury, take his 11 million, and take the lineal WBC and Ring Magazine championships all the way over to DAZN. Now that would be brilliant for Eddie Hearn, wouldn't it? Do you know why? Because even if Anthony Joshua loses to Alexander Usyk, guess what? Could we then get Dillian to do a voluntary against Anthony Joshua and put Anthony Joshua back in the driver's seat again? What about that one? Do you guys think I'm off the mark with that one? If Dillian Whyte beats Fury, if Dillian Whyte beats Fury and becomes the man, could Dillian Whyte end up on DAZN fighting Anthony Joshua as a voluntary? Is that possible? Could he take Anthony Joshua as a voluntary? Ring, WBC, lineal. It's funny that, isn't it? Hey? Hey? The rematch. Interesting. Interesting. Norzerb says Eddie would put a Conor Benn world title fight on DAZN pay-per-view. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe... The thing with DAZN is DAZN do not release their numbers. You heard what Frank Warren said last week, right? What did Frank Warren say? Frank Warren said, if DAZN told me how many UK subscribers they've got, right? Actually, that's a good point. That's a good point. I wonder if those people who work for DAZN but have YouTube channels know. I wonder if they know how many subscribers DAZN have. That'd be interesting to find out, actually. I've just realised. Obviously, we've got one of our friends on YouTube who works for DAZN. They must know how many subscribers DAZN have got in the UK. I'd be interested to know how many subscribers DAZN have actually got in the UK right now. Because I'm not convinced Conor Benn's a draw. So that's the reason why I'm asking, you see. Makes sense? Because you guys are saying Conor Benn world title fight could be on pay-per-view. Could be. I'd like to know how many people are actually interested and are going to subscribe to DAZN just to see Conor Benn fight for a world title. I'm not convinced he's a massive draw. But if DAZN or somebody at DAZN would tell us how many subscribers DAZN has, then maybe we'd find out. Is that a fair point that I'm asking? How many subscribers DAZN have in the UK? Is that a fair point? Because we know how much Frank Warren's got in Company's House, right? Am I lying about that, right? We know, innit? Because you know Eddie Hearn's always telling us how much money that Frank Warren's got in Company's House, right? It's well known, isn't it? You remember when Eddie Hearn told everybody, go and look up Queensbury on Company's House? They're broke, right? Am I lying or not lying? That's what Eddie Hearn said. Anybody can look it up on Company's House. Queensbury are broke, right? So we know that side have talked about. And also, by the way, when Frank Warren was running Box Nation, did Eddie Hearn make jibes about how many subscribers Box Nation had? Yes or no? When Frank Warren was running Box Nation, did Eddie Hearn make comments about how many subscribers that Box Nation had? What was going on at Box Nation? I think he did. So if he did, can I ask you a question? How come we can't find out how many subs DAZN have got? Hey? Ask next time you're on YouTube. Ask, innit? Ask away. How many subs? By the way, how many subs do DAZN have? How many do they have? Because that will determine, innit? We have to know these numbers to know who's a draw and who's not a draw, right? Don't we, innit? Don't we? We can't be sitting here discussing who's a fucking draw and who's not a draw and if Conor Benn could be pay-per-view. We have no idea until we actually know, well, how many customers do they have? How many customers do they have? How many customers will they have if Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte end up fighting on BT Sport and Sky Sports? How many customers will they have then? Who's left? Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, yeah? Is that what we're left with? Are we left with Katie Taylor or what? Well, what are we left with? Let's have a look at Matchroom's website. Hold on. What are we left with here? Trying to figure it out. Very strange, isn't it? Games You Love says, if the numbers were good, Eddie would be on IFL talking all about it. I think so. I think so. That's what I go along with that. Do you believe, does anybody here in this chat, can I ask you a genuine question? Does anybody here in this chat believes that the DAZN subscriber numbers are very good? Eddie Hearn just hasn't mentioned anything to IFL TV or any media. Does anybody here believe that? Is there anybody here that believes in that at all? Does anybody here believe that the DAZN's UK numbers are very, very good and Eddie Hearn just hasn't got around to telling us? Or is something else happening? I don't know. I'm just a hater. Do you know what I mean? I'm just a hater. There you go. See your comment, Marco. See your comment. I can't see your comment, Marco. Your comment's on the screen, but I can't see it because it's not super chatted. So I'm sorry, I can't read it out. I missed your comment. Sorry about that, Marco. I can't see it because it's not super chatted. But if you super chat me, I'll be able to see it and I'll read it out for you. Let's have a look. Thomas Williams says, Frank did mention the DAZN were late in putting in their accounts before they put in an extra 5 billion. Yeah, they're debt-free now. They're debt-free. They're debt-free. They're debt-free. Let's have a quick look at Matchroom stable quickly. Sorry. Just trying to get a look at their fucking stable here. Where's their stable at? Boxers. Here we go. Let's have a look at their stable. Well, look, it looks like Canelo is actually now on Matchroom. I mean, they left him on the bloody website even when he was fighting on PBC or whatever, but it looks like Canelo is actually a Matchroom fighter. And he is a draw and, you know, whatever. You know, Canelo is Canelo. So that's fine. Katie Taylor. Let's talk about UK. In the UK, here's the question. No Anthony Joshua. No Dillian Whyte on DAZN. Let's assume Dillian Whyte signs tomorrow to fight Tyson Fury. That means he's fighting on BT Sport. And Sky say they're very confident Anthony Joshua's next fight will be with them, right? If that happens, let's have a look at the stars here that you could put on DAZN. Let me tell you what. They'll put Canelo on pay-per-view in the UK, won't they? So you can count Canelo Alvarez. I'm not sure how much of a draw he'll be in the UK. Makes sense? Yeah, in the UK. But Canelo Alvarez will probably put his fight on UK pay-per-view. I'm not sure how many people would turn up to watch Canelo and Bivol at, what, 2 a.m. in the morning in the UK? But that's me. Katie Taylor, pay-per-view star on DAZN. Devin Haney, who's he fighting next? He's not... They couldn't secure the fight, could they, with Kambosos, could they? Do you remember that? Devin Haney. Fortunately, they couldn't secure the fight with Kambosos. So... there you go. That's interesting. What did we hear a lot of on the... Have you ever noticed? And again, I think that, to be honest, and I'll tell you the truth now, if I had to pick, who do I believe? Eddie Hearn or Lou DiBella? I believe Eddie Hearn over Lou DiBella. But can I ask you a question? Why is it every time Eddie Hearn's involved in a big fight, not every time, but why is it when Eddie Hearn's involved in big fights? Why do we hear about contracts and emails? You guys ever noticed that? Do you guys notice there's a lot of talk about emails? Look. Emails and offers. Not a lot of fights. Am I lying or am I spinning the narrative there or am I lying? Is it not a bit of a coincidence that when Eddie Hearn's involved in these fights, there's a lot of emails and a lot of offers on Twitter, but we don't see a lot of fights? I find that interesting. So Devin Haney isn't fighting for the Undisputed Championship yet because Kambosos is almost certainly fighting Lomachenko instead. And not only that, but Kambosos has a rematch clause apparently as well, which states that he has the right to a rematch clause in Australia. So even if Lomachenko was to beat Kambosos, as it stands, I believe that he'd have to beat Kambosos again in Australia all over again. Okay? So in that case, looks like Devin Haney won't be fighting for the fucking Undisputed in the next 2 fights. So could you put him on UK pay-per-view? Okay. Gennady Golovkin will be on UK pay-per-view if he fights Canelo. And that is a pay-per-view fight, no matter what anybody says. Julio Cesar Martinez, Jessica McCaskill. Does anybody think Chantel Cameron's a UK pay-per-view fighter? What do you guys think? If the DAZN don't have Dillian Whyte and AJ fighting on their platform in their two biggest fights this year, would anybody be up for paying to watch Chantel Cameron? What about Lawrence Okole, the fan-friendly Lawrence Okole? Would you pay to watch The Source on the DAZN pay-per-view? Well, would anybody here pay to watch Lawrence Okole? How many people do you think in the general public would say, you know what, I'm going to subscribe to the DAZN because Lawrence Okole is defending his cruiserweight title? Anybody? Okay. What about Boo Boo Andrade? What about this man here? The most avoided man in boxing, Boo Boo. Does anybody want to watch Boo Boo? As a UK subscriber, would you pay pay-per-view in the UK to watch Boo Boo Andrade, yeah? And his WBO title, which is pretty much vacated. Anybody interested in Andrade? Oh, okay, right. Okay. Right. So, where are these names? Where are these names? What about here? I mean, no disrespect. Look, I've got to be careful what I say. Look, I'm going to be honest. This lady here, I'm sure she's a very nice lady. She does remind me of Oprah Winfrey. Look, she looks just like Oprah. Does she not? One sec. Let me remove the branding. I'm not being rude, but she does look just like Oprah. You can't tell me she doesn't look like Oprah Winfrey. Let's be real. Come on. Exactly like Oprah. Games You Love says, what about Billy Joe Saunders? Is Billy Joe going to fight with Matchroom, is he? That would be interesting to see. Is he going to fight with Matchroom? Again, what do you guys think? Do you think Billy Joe will fight with Matchroom again? I'd have to see that to believe that. After the way he was treated out in Texas. Do you remember how Saunders was treated? Can I ask you a question? Have you ever seen a British away fight? Excuse me. Have you ever seen a British fighter treated like a British, treated in that way by a British promoter in your life? Have you ever seen that before? Have you ever seen a British promoter treat a British fighter like that in your life? I haven't. I'd be amazed. Is Billy Joe Saunders coming back? Apparently, he's coming back. Greg Marriott, who's Kell Brook's nutritionist, says that he's going to be working with Billy Joe to lose weight. So Billy Joe Saunders will be returning. I agree with that. He's going to start working with Greg Marriott and start losing weight. But will he return on Sky? Excuse me, will he return on DAZN with Eddie Hearn? I'll believe that when I see that. And who would he fight on DAZN? Just out of interest, if Billy Joe Saunders was to sign with DAZN, who would he fight on DAZN? Who would they get him a fight with? He's already been smashed to pieces by Canelo. I suppose in theory, well, I was going to say Golovkin, but then again, why would they do that? Because they're going to feed Golovkin to Canelo. Loma Unfiltered says Andrade. Listen, if you want to pay for Saunders and Andrade on UK pay-per-view, you go for it. I sure as hell ain't. Craig Richards. Look at some of these prospects. Ebony Bridges. Look, let's be honest. I think Ebony Bridges is probably their best pay-per-view draw anyway. Less said about that, the better. Let me hop out of here before I get myself in trouble. How are their prospects doing here? How are their prospects here? Let's see what they got for the future. How's James Tennyson? The man that they said, do you remember this guy, James Tennyson? Didn't they say he would beat Gervonta Davis? Do you remember that? What happened to that? Do you remember that? When Johnny Nelson said James Tennyson would beat Gervonta Davis. Do you remember that one? 28-4. Okay. Well, if Johnny Nelson says it, it must be true. Stick his ass on pay-per-view. Okay. Right. See what I'm saying here? See what I'm saying here? But what's Eddie's telling you? Eddie's telling you he's fine with Dillian Whyte, yeah, fighting on the BT platform. Oh, if you believe that, you'll believe it. Okay, no problem. Eddie's fine with it. We'll see. Sorry, I was supposed to be at your comments and I started ranting. ABB says, any news on a Matchroom O2 card next weekend? Will the roof be fixed in time? Who gives a shit? Who's on the Matchroom card next week? What is it? I'll have a look in a sec. If you give me 3 seconds, I'll look at their card. Oh, it's a Cole in it and Sizzler in it. It's a Cole and Sizzler. Is that right? A Cole's fighting that Raga star Sizzler. Bonfire. Is that right? Isn't that a Cole versus Sizzler? Yeah. We know about Sizzler, innit? Isn't it Cole versus Sizzler, innit? Let me have a look. Sizzler. Bonfire. A Cole versus Sizzler. I'll play some Sizzler. He's a bad man. Yeah. Sizzler Kalanji, a bad man. This is a Cole's fighting Sizzler. Let me see this shit. Hold on. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at events. The O2 in it. Hey guys, can I ask you a question? Do you guys believe in God? Yes or no? Do you guys believe in God? I believe in God. Shall I tell you why? I think God saw this fucking card, yeah, and said, "Shit me, I'm sending a storm to go rip off the O2 roof. Fuck this main event." What do you think? I see cards like this. I believe in God, you know. 100% I believe in God. God said, fuck this shit. I'm sending a storm that's going to come and take off the O2 roof. Fuck this shit. God's sitting up right there in the clouds, and God's saying, bro, I didn't send Jesus down to earth to forgive all the sins of humanity, to have to sit and watch through this card here. What was it? God loved the world so much, he sent his only begotten son. Yeah, he didn't send it down for this shit, did he? He sat there, he said, nah. God was sitting up in the clouds and said, Campbell Hatton versus Joe Ducker. Joe Ducker, 1-9, lost 8. Get it? God sat up in the clouds watching this abomination and said, nah, send a storm. He said, send a storm. Send a storm. Take the roof off the O2. They ain't doing this. We ain't letting them get away with this. Oh my God, hey. You know what I do with these jokes? I just do them off the top of my head, you know? There's none of this is scripted. I swear to God, like I'm just out of it right now. Let's have a look. All right. We got Chevron Clark versus TBA. Oh, fucking hell. John Hedges versus Alexander Nagalowski. Campbell Hatton, Joe Ducker. Dempsey McKean versus Ariel Esteban Bracamonte. Anthony Fowler is back. It's the return of the great Anthony Fowler against Lucas Maciek. Fabio Wardley versus TBA. When's this event then? Hold on a minute. What's this event? When is it? 27th. So it's a week out and we still haven't got an opponent for Fabio Wardley. Yeah? 1 week out and we still ain't got an opponent for Fabio Wardley. I hope they're not going to do what Ben Shalom does and start plucking guys out of the crowd like they did for Fraser Clark. Do you know what I mean? So if you guys are thinking about turning up to the O2 Arena to watch Fabio Wardley, yeah, you guys better be careful because they might pluck one of you out of the crowd and stick you in the ring with him. Offer you free tickets. Bellew versus TBA. Oh, that's always good, isn't it? 1 week out from the event, Bellew doesn't know who he's fighting. This looks like a top card to me. Shit. Len Van Atvik's pumping billions into this shit, you know. Hey, Len Van Atvik. I hope when Len Van Atvik pumps his billions in, like Eddie Hearn don't show. Do you know what? I've got a funny feeling that Len Van Atvik has no idea what Eddie. Do you know what it is? Let me spin you a conspiracy, yeah. Because Len Van Atvik doesn't know much about boxing. What if, I've got a theory, what if Eddie Hearn's telling Len Van Atvik, yeah, that see this dude here, this is Anthony Joshua. I reckon he's telling him that this is Anthony Joshua and that this dude on the right is Tyson Fury. That must be how he's getting Len Van Atvik to put all this money in. That could be the only way that Leon Balatovic's invested all this money in DAZN. Someone has done this. Look, I'll do it for you live, yeah? You want to see some software development skills? We'll do it right now live. You want to see it? We'll see it. We'll do it. Hold on. Here we go. Someone's doing this. Look, I'll show you. Hold on. This is what's happening. 100%, bro. One sec. There you go. And what's happening is, yeah, when they're in the investors meetings, yeah, Eddie Hearn's presenting this, yeah, to Len Blanatovic, innit? Saying, Len, look what we got. Sunday, 27th of February in 2022. We got Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. I need 5 million. Can you? I need 5 million, Len. Can you put it in? That has to be it, man. that has to be it, though, isn't it? There's no other explanation, man. There's no other legal explanation for all this money they keep putting into this shit. There's no other way. Eddie Hearn be telling him, this is, yo, I've got AJ versus Fury this weekend. That has to be it, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Anyway. Alright. Shall I quit while I'm ahead, yeah? I'll quit while I'm ahead. Sometimes I let these shows drag on too long, innit? Sometimes it's best to quit while you're ahead. Guys, take care. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope Dillian Whyte signs. Peace.